Hello. Hello, my name is Daniel Torrefranca, and our topic for today is the effect of pesticides on human health and well-being. First, let's go ahead and define pesticides. Pesticides, in its general definition, are any substance intended for preventing, destroying, repelling, or mitigating any pests such as insects, mice, weeds, fungus, and many more. Pesticides are found both in agriculture and as well as in your home. On the left, you'll see an aerial spraying of pesticides on farmland or agriculture, and on the right, we see our common household pesticides such as Raid, Weed B Gon, and so forth. And so these are just a few of the many types, brands, and names of pesticides out there. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at pesticide use around the world. Pesticides are used around the world at about 5.6 billion pounds per year. Now, with the US alone accounting for 1 billion of those pounds per year. Let's now go ahead and mention different types of pesticides. We have antimicrobials and disinfectants, which are both for controlling germs and microbes. Fungicides, which control fungal problems such as molds. Herbicides, which kill the growth of unwanted plants. Insecticides, which are used to control and kill insects, such as Raid. Repellents are used to repel unwanted pests. Now, with all different types of pesticides and knowing what pesticide is used for, what's the problem? Pesticide use over the years have caused many health problems among agricultural societies and as well as individuals that are exposed to pesticide use. Now, in addition to this, pesticides are everywhere, all around the world. They can be found in the air we breathe, the food we eat, and even the water we drink. As I will be explaining later, pesticides can trickle down into water sources. They trickle into the food as they are sprayed in agriculture, such as apple skin can still contain pesticide on it, even through numerous washes. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at short-term effects of the pesticides. Some short-term effects include acute dangers such as headaches, nausea, irritations of the skin, the eyes, and the nerves. And some of you may relate if you've sprayed some insecticide in your own house and started feeling lightheaded after inhaling the air after spraying the pesticide. Those are short-term effects of pesticides. Now, with the long-term and more dangerous effects of pesticides are the chronic health effects. Pesticide use has been linked to cancer, such as leukemia, brain cancer, bone, liver, and so on, as listed here on the slide. Now, pesticide use has also been linked to Parkinson's disease, which I'll actually be discussing in the next slide. It's also been linked to fertility, which in most cases ends up causing infertility, and as well as endocrine disruption. Now on to Parkinson's disease. Pesticides increase the risk of Parkinson's by the following numbers. With the use of any pesticide, it increased the risk at 1.8-fold, herbicides at 1.3-fold, insecticides at 1.5-fold. Now, with that said, we want to dig deeper into which specific pesticide is actually linked to the higher risk in developing Parkinson's. Studies show that paraquat, an herbicide, was found to increase the risk of Parkinson's by 2.2-fold, which is a very significant number. Now, talking a little bit more about paraquat, as I've stated earlier, it is an herbicide which also increases the risk of Parkinson's, actually bigger risks of bigger increased risks of Parkinson's. But paraquat is actually one of the most widely used pesticides in the world, and it's used for killing weeds and foliage. Studies have also shown that prolonged use increases the risk of farmers and individuals to contract Parkinson's. Now, I've also shown the makeup of paraquat on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and travel to the other side of the world, India. Now, in the 1970s, the Plantation Corporation of Kerala, or PCK as some may call it, began aerial spraying of pesticides at over 2,000 hectares of land. Now, looking currently, studies show that for over 26 years, Kerala sprayed the highly dangerous endosulfan, which was actually made and distributed in India. And so the result of this, around 500 deaths from 1995 were related to the spraying. In addition to this, some unofficial studies claim that a total of around 4,000 deaths total since the spraying started in the 70s. Now, over the years, since it started in the 1970s, farmers in India used more pesticide than was actually directed, despite knowing that despite the fact that they knew pesticides were hazardous to the human health. And the reason for this was for the speeding of the process, the effects on the crops. Now, from 1990 to about 2001, a single physician in Padre village recorded 156 cases of disorders in just 123 seconds. Endosulfan has been a huge controversy in India, and as it has led to mental retardation, cancer, infertility, and as well as deformities. As you can see in the picture to the right, deformities and health problems are shown, along with the propaganda to ban endosulfan, or the use of it. Now, how does it get consumed? Due to the mountainous regions, pesticides get washed away by rain into the water used for drinking, which then results in this mass consumption. So, despite all these dangerous effects, why have pesticides continued to affect society when many studies actually exist? The following table shows many aspects that inhibit the ability for studies to even more protect society. Aspects such as the fact that certain individuals may genetically be more sensitive than others, multiple exposures to different pesticides that make it actually very, very hard to verify, weather conditions, and even grandfathering, in which since most pesticides were registered before safety factors, these pesticides have not been reevaluated, and so use has continued. And so the study of pesticides, in order to all the more protect society, continues to be an ongoing effort. However, with new technologies, these efforts can eventually be aided in better understanding pesticides. Thank you for your time.